Okay, hi everybody. I am finally, after a long time, starting my lore playthrough of Dishonored 2. Yay! Um, so I haven't really been looking forward to this too much because, unlike the last game, I am not nearly as familiar with all the lore, and there's a lot more of it, and it's a lot harder to find, just because partially the engine, the way it makes things look, it's just harder to find visually. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna miss things, so if I miss something, um, put it in a comment, and if it's worthwhile, I'll go back and look at it again. Okay. um, but anyway, yeah, let's get started. Okay, actually, let's go ahead and do the tutorial. There's not a whole lot of lore involved in it, but there's a little, so we'll go ahead and do it. All right, Dunwall, 1837 to 1852. As Emily Caldwell, ruler of the Empire of the Isles, you have numerous enemies. Your father is Lord Corvo Atano, infamous royal protector and spy master. In the years since you took the throne, Corvo has spent many hours training you in the arts of stealth and combat.
I remember training with my father in the years after the rat plague. Someday, he said, our enemies will come for you.
And here we are at the Dunwall waterfront. See a whaling ship.
The sounds and smells of Dunwall never change much. This is my city.
And one tiny little thing I wanted to mention just right off the bat. These little sort of whale decorations here. It's actually the same model that hangs over the front door of the Boyle Mansion. Not terribly important, but just thought I'd point that out. I might put some extra pictures in post just to show. So this area, the waterfront, you can find it on the map of Dunwall. And the nice thing about this area is it's an industrial area, and there are no homes, or very few homes. So at night there's nobody around, which makes it a very good training spot.
What training regimen does Father have in store for me today?
All right, Majesty. Let's see what you can do.
I've got to slide under to get through.
Hurry.
Did it.
You'll have to sprint, vault the obstacle, then slide under.
All right, good. What's next?
No swimming beyond this point. But yeah, well, I'm the Empress. I do what I want. See a few visual assets from the first game.
If only I could spend every day running and jumping. Now to test my agility.
Come to me. You've learned well. Let's see how quiet you are, young lady.
So this area, it's actually a small slaughterhouse.
Father's always on about the value of quiet feet.
And so this area, it's kind of an older industrial area. And before all the whale slaughterhouses were kind of concentrated on Slaughterhouse Row as they are now. This is kind of an older one where you can pretty much set up shop anywhere you want. So that's kind of the idea with this this little area.
That's my girl. Don't let me hear you or see you.
Didn't see anything at all.
Use cover to stay out of sight.
In the words of Corvo Attano, hidden like a secret, quiet as the sunset.
I highly doubt he'd be that poetic.
Remember, a pistol will wake up everyone in the building. Your crossbow is quiet.
Nah. I got my crosshair set to basically the minimum visibility. Just so it doesn't
Perfect shot.
affect the visuals. Oh, Spirit of the Deep. I didn't see this before. Excerpt from a longer work of fiction. Spirit of the Deep, Siren of the Dreams. I walked for hours along the coast, leaving Dunwall behind me until the lament of the waves drowned all other feeling. I wept, knowing you would not come to me, my love. You rule my dreams where I behold with senses I do not possess, and waking life, the dark splendor of your home in the deep. There the ocean rests on your back like a sleeping child on his father's shoulders. In these sleepless nights of despair you appear to me not as the mighty Leviathan, but as a young man with eyes as black as the void. I think we all know who that is. I think this was in the first game, I can't remember.
Time for some more weapons and combat training. Let's beat each other up, shall we? Yes. You hit hard. That's my daughter. When someone swings a sword at you, block. Good. Well done. Very good. You've got a natural instinct for fighting. If you time your block right, you'll throw an enemy off balance. You're quick. Smart move. You can choke an enemy out, even in combat. Block with your blade.
Really like the texture on that sleeve. Nice detail. All the fabric.
Go for the fatality. When an enemy is off balance, you can land a lethal counterattack. I feel better knowing you can take care of yourself. When trouble does finally come, you're ready to fight.
I still wish the tutorial was built into the game like in the first one. But whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the game. I am going to do New Game Plus just because I'll play as Emily just because it's, you know, the lore choice. But I cannot use Far Reach well. I just end up launching myself across the map. So in order to get Blink, I'll do New Game Plus. How about that? That's... yeah. Alright, Long Day in Dunwall. Today marks the anniversary of the death of Empress Jessamine Caldwin, assassinated 15 years ago. Visitors from across the Empire of the Isles have journeyed to Dunwall Tower for the occasion.
Why do we celebrate the anniversary of an assassination? 15 years ago, in the middle of a plague that nearly destroyed Dunwall, a paid killer assaulted the palace where I was born and stabbed my mother in the heart. who sent the assassin tried to use me as a pawn in a game of power. They would have succeeded, but my father, Corvo Attano, hunted them down and cut their conspiracy to pieces. All these years later, am I the ruler my mother wanted me to be? Now, we face a new crisis. A monster the papers are calling the Crown Killer has been picking off my enemies and dressing it up like my father and I are responsible. I don't know whether to get on a ship and sail to the opposite side of the world, or to have everyone around me executed.
Is it one or the other? Nothing in between, right?
Watch your step, Majesty.
I'm not looking forward to all the ceremony today.
Your signet ring. There. You're ready.
Thank you, Alexei. Open the doors.
All hail Her Imperial Majesty, Emily Caldwin.
Loyal subjects, we're going through a difficult time, but today we honor my mother, the late Jessamine Caldwin. May her memory survive through the ages.
Emily,
You look tired, Father.
every year I think the anniversary of Jessamine's death will be easier, but it never is.
I wish Mother was still the Empress. I don't think I'm very good at this.
You're still learning. Don't worry about the rabble-rousers.
After
and
15
we'll catch
years,
the Crown
still
Killer
learning.
Eventually.
People are saying it's you. That these assassinations are a misguided effort to protect me.
No, someone's trying to make us look guilty by targeting your enemies.
I wish I could just run away from all this.
Sometimes you do. You think I don't know about your nights out on the rooftops? Courage. The ceremony will be over soon.
Royal Protector and Father. I should have passed a law against that combination of titles years ago.
Your Majesty, before we begin the day's observances, we have an unexpected visitor, the Duke of Serkonos.
Ramsay says the Duke is bringing special gifts.
That's intriguing.
His Grace Luca Abel, Duke of Serkonos!
Mechanical soldiers? Amazing.
What is this, Ramsay? I didn't authorize those things.
Your Imperial Majesty and Royal Protector Corvo Attano, a native of our homeland. Serkonos offers condolences on this sorrowful day, and gifts to remind you of our nation, the rising star on the southern horizon.
We thank you, Your Grace.
Save your thanks, for now I give you the greatest gift of all, family. I present the lost sister of Jessamine Caldwin, your rightful Empress, Delilah Caldwin.
Impossible.
My mother had a sister?
My dearest niece, hello.
It's not true.
My father was Emperor Yuhorn Jacob Caldwin, and Jessamine was my younger sister. At the time of her death, I wasn't ready to make myself known to you, and I was forced to leave Dunwall. But now I'm home.
If you really are my mother's sister, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Little sparrow, blackened by bad memories. I'm here to relieve
You know she's
of your
powerful because her
crown.
pants have pockets.
My father's promise, whispered in secret so many years ago, is now fulfilled.
Watch your tongue.
Not many people get
Emily
pockets.
Caldwin is the daughter of Empress Jessamine Caldwin.
Royal Protector. How naive to think you could get away with these murders. Living in my palace has protected you, but that's over. Hear me, all of you. Your rightful Empress has returned.
All hail the Empress Delilah, first of her name. Arrest Emily Caldwin and her father for the Crown Killer murder.
What?
get to see Blink from the outside perspective. Nice.
Your sword can't still my heart.
Okay. Alright, so I usually play as Corvo because, again, I can't use Far Reach very well, but we'll go ahead and play as Emily.
I will cast you in cold marble. No! Sweet girl, over time you'll come to love me. Perhaps someday you'll see me as the mother you lost. But until then, you'll be kept out of trouble.
I'll lock Lady Emily in her chambers, then I'll bring her to Cauldron Prison until her trial. My father lost it all when I was a boy, so now I wear this uniform, and I send 20-year-olds out to patrol the Rose Gardens instead of drinking with the men from the shooting club.
Captain Ramsey, I heard shouting. Lady Emily, what happened?
That'll be all, Captain Mayhew.
No!
So that's the Royal Protector's fancy weapon. What kind of sword folds in half? There's a legend in the Tower Guard about the Empress's last resort, a safe room inside your chambers holding enough gold to buy a good-sized island. They say that this ring is one of the only 2 keys to exist.
That's Sam Rockwell, in case you didn't know. Wild Bill from Green Mile. Hard to believe it's the same guy.
What happened?
Okay.
Alexei. The throne room. Father. Nothing I can do alone. I need to get out of here. These bastards are working with Ramsey and the Duke of Serkonos.
Hold your horses, Corporal Dial. Ramsey knows what he's doing. The man's moving up in the world. He's old blood, one of the good families. And now that he's helped the rightful Empress take the throne, the Ramseys are going to be back in fashion in Dunwall. You'd be smart to remember that.
So that guard's actually also Stephen Russell, the voice of Corvo. So he does more than one voice. Okay, so there's a little bit of lore in this room to look at. All right, so here's our our typical whaling ship from the first game, same model, and you'll notice every single whaling ship you see in the first game has the same registry, HWO 080, and the reason that was chosen is because if you just flip the entire image, it becomes 080 OWH, so it looks comprehensible from both sides. That way they can animate both sides of the ship without really having to do any extra work. So that's why they chose that. And every ship you see will have one of those. Globe, of course.
Should I just spin it and pick a place to hide for a while? I need time to think.
Right there, Pandicia. Okay. Can interact with the clock.
I used to hide frogs in this old grandfather clock to drive the housekeepers mad. I thought life was complicated back then.
All right. Letter from the Tivian Trade Commission. Our most esteemed Empress, as you know, freight from Serkonos, bound for Tivia, is now routinely set upon by pirates, or spoiled with bloodflies. In addition to the loss of Tivian lives, be they crew, dock workers, or shopkeepers, there is the material cost of the cargo itself, which can barely be calculated. If things continue unchecked, we will be forced to cease trading with Serkonos, and perhaps even to embargo ships from the southernmost isle altogether. But this need not come to pass. The Trade Commission is a reasonable body and has already considered remedies to ameliorate the situation. We seek the following: independent, qualified inspectors at all ports, patrols to defend against pirates and smugglers, compensation for the previous and future losses. It is this list of remedies that I wish to discuss with you, in person at the earliest possible opportunity. So far, your staff have resisted our efforts to establish a definitive time for negotiation. Prompt them to action, Majesty, for we are eager to travel to Dunwall. Until we can sit down and discuss this in a civilized fashion, I send you our best. Damian Shurigan, Principal, Tivian Trade Commission. Alright. It's my best attempt at what I imagine a Tivian accent. Gazelle?
The Hound Pits pub. I can't believe it, but I actually miss those times.
I have a canvas print of this picture on my wall. It's pretty nice. I had to lighten up the colors so that you could see anything when it was printed out, but it eventually came out nice. Okay, let's see. Letter from Advisor Helmswater. Empress, we face yet another murder, and I cannot remain silent on this matter. Strange, is it not, that all the victims have openly opposed you? If not strange, then oh, so very convenient. Is there anything you wish to tell me, Majesty? How can I be an advisor if you don't include me in these most sensitive of endeavors? I feel I must be the only person in Dunwall who doesn't know the truth about the Crown Killer. Don't leave me out in the cold. I remain your trusted servant and advisor, Leonora Helmswater. So, yeah, even the closest advisors think she's the one killing people. So, not a great situation to be in. Let's see. Schedule for Middle Song's Eve. Empress, presented for your approval, the schedule for Middle Song's Eve. Morning meal with Tivian Trade Commission. Presentation from the research vessel Loplolly Swift, just returned from newly discovered island chain off Pandician continent. Midday meal with dignitaries from Morley, who will present you with a gift in exchange for your attention to their complaints. Foreign gifts in exchange for access. That sounds familiar. Whatever. Dedication and speech for new wing at the infirmary home for aged seafarers. Meeting with advisors on the issue of blood flies in the south. Evening meal with Lord Corvo at his request. Eric Plainstow, scheduling secretary. So, today is the 18th of Earth, month of Earth. So right there at the top, week 3, first month. Songs is the last month, so Middle Songs Eve would, I assume, be the 14th of Songs. So either they're planning for a year in advance, or this is just left over from the previous month and she just hasn't cleaned up her office. I'll let you guess which is the answer there. So this typewriter is an interesting model with the sort of ball-shaped keys. This is actually, I believe, a real-world typewriter design that was used in the past. It's obviously not used anymore, but I think there were typewriters in the past that kind of looked like this. Ship launch protocol. Let's see. Empress, after the Royal Protector's shakedown cruise, will launch the ISS Jessamine Caldwin just before the anniversary of your mother's passing, pending your approval, of course. On the platform, we'll have a bottle of King Street brandy tied to a long tether that you will release to swing out against the hull. What you say during the ceremony is, of course, up to you, but here are some ideas intended to serve as food for thought. May a brisk wind hurry you to shores near, far, and fair. May you shelter your crew from the perils of the terrible ocean. May you always sail for Bristol, true of heart and homeward bound. Yours faithfully, Advisor Wainwright. So I wonder if this is the same Wainwright that was referred to as a shriveled old leech in one of the notes in Knife of Dunwall, kind of a slumlord, I guess. Or possibly, I'm guessing probably not, but Archibald Wainwright, who just after the events of this game, advocates for dissolving the monarchy. Probably not that one, but same family. Sorry, just checking my notes here. I want to make sure I get everything. I think that's everything in this room. Go ahead and save that. All right, let's get out of here.
How many times have I looked at that skyline? It feels like everything just changed. Delilah is some sort of witch. How is this possible?
Lady Emily, you're all right. Where's the Royal Protector?
There's a coup underway. My father is... he's imprisoned, for lack of a better word.
You've got to get out of the tower. Through your safe room. There was a captain earlier today, down at the docks. Looking for the Royal Protector. Find her. Get out of Dunwall.
Alexei, I'm sorry. Goodbye. This won't open without my ring. Ramsey has it. No time for that now.
Okay. Audience request. Captain Mayhew, you don't know me, but you've got to tell the Royal Protector that I have urgent need of his time. I'm carrying a message that is tasked to be delivered face to face. Tell him I'm working with Anton Sokolov, an old friend. All the boats are being sent away from the docks, but I'll delay as long as I can. Tell Lord Corvo to find me here. My ship is called the Dreadful Whale. Megan Foster. And of course, most people by now know that Dreadful Whale, the way it's spelled, is an anagram for Farewell Dowd. Lots of dress forms. I guess she has 100 dresses, like they said in the first game. I think Callista said that. I don't think there's anything else in here. There's an owl from the conservatory.
Emily, I know times are hard. You're the ruler of 4 nations, and I won't pretend to understand the pressure you're under. Only you, and your mother before you, could know what that's like. Whoever's killing off your enemies is doing so for calculated effect, undermining us. I do know what it's like to be blamed for murders you didn't commit, but trust me, we'll find this crown killer, and they'll pay. Tomorrow is the anniversary of her death. A sad day for sure. But I want you to remember all that's happened over the last 15 years. You've held on to the throne, and you've done what you thought was right for the people of the Empire. You drained the flooded district, kept the gangs in check, and yesterday we launched a magnificent ship bearing Jessamine's name. You're becoming the sovereign your mother wanted you to be, and I'm proud of you.
Okay, notice, even though we're in the palace, this bathroom still uses a chamber pot. But we'll start to see flushable toilets coming up here, so just a nice little mix of developing technologies, different from the first game.
My mind on my duties. Forget about that kiss. Oh, that kiss. Something feels wrong.
Traitors.
Okay, something I wanted to point out really quick. I saw another someone else's playthrough. I can't remember who pointed this out. So this is a painting of the launching of the ISS Jessamine, which happened at this point just yesterday in the game, and yet the painting already has age cracks. Whoops. That's a little mistake. Okay, newspaper. Crown Killer strikes again. Dunwall citizens express shock and fear as yet another outspoken critic of Emily Caldwin has met with a violent demise. The latest victim is none other than Ichabod Boyle, notable entrepreneur and supporter of the arts. Boyle recently wrote an opinion piece harshly criticizing the Empress for what he called her slipshod style of governance and her willful neglect of duties. Authorities are convinced the Crown Killer is the culprit, given the gruesome details left at the crime scene. As Her Majesty's most outspoken adversaries fall one by one to this notorious assassin, we boldly ask, is it now the duty of the Royal Protector to murder all who dare criticize the throne? Not at all sensationalist. It's a jeweled map of the Empire. You can see the capital cities, various colored jewels. And Karnaca, the jewel of the South. It's a nice painting. Okay. One interesting little thing to note here. Oh, I don't have my spyglass yet, but so in this interesting 4 keys device on the Imperial Seal, each key actually stands for one of the islands. So the one with 4 teeth for Gristle and Dunwall, and then 3 for Tivia, 2 for Serkonos, and for that rebellious Morley, only 1. So it kind of gives you the pecking order of the isles right there in the in the device.
With the throne room blocked off, we should have the time we need. Just stay here and stall anyone who comes by. I'll be back when I've searched the royal chambers, assuming I don't accidentally lock myself in this damn safe room.
We'll cover for you if anyone from the Duke's party returns. This is exciting. Everything's changing.
Yes, the natural order is reasserting itself. The Ramseys once hosted the King and Queen of Morley. Did you know that? I spent my childhood playing with the Buntings and the Boyles, cream of society.
And very soon you'll be back at the top, Captain.
Ramsay's family fell from the aristocracy, and apparently the man holds a grudge. How it's my fault, that's beyond me. But one way or another, Ramsay is too dangerous to be left in play.
Sure, he knows how to talk with the boss. Oh, what a lick spittle.
He's there. That's Emily
Uh-oh.
Caldwin.
And they run away.
Father, I don't know how, but I'll make this right. I promise. Senseless slaughter.
You aren't going anywhere!
She's wounded. Let's finish her.
finally
What
know
was that?
your place.
Yep.
Half the time we need just stay here and stall.
I'm gonna try and go for low
anyone who
chaos,
comes
but
by.
this first
Back when I'd searched the
first
royal
level is
chambers,
not the
I don't
easiest to do it in.
lock myself in this damn safe room.
We'll cover for you if anyone from the Duke's party returns. This is exciting. Everything's changing.
Yes, the natural order is reasserting itself. The Ramseys once hosted the king and queen of Morley. Did you know that? I spent my childhood playing with the Buntings and the Boyles, cream of society.
And very soon you'll be back at the top, Captain.
So of course we met Jack Ramsey in Knife of Dunwall.
Ramsey's family fell from the aristocracy, and apparently the man holds a grudge. How it's my fault, that's beyond me. But one way or another, Ramsey is too dangerous to be left in play.
So he's kind of resentful of his fallen state.
I could swear I saw something.
He's out cold.
Oh, I wonder who that was.
And watch officers actually come from aristocratic families,
This won't leave my hand again.
but apparently he considers himself too good even for that. So that's why he's resentful of actually having to work instead of just being a rich guy. So one thing I want to point out: this throne room.
I'll tell you something, Coldwin. No! Damn it!
This throne room
Take it!
is on the roof.
Damn you!
Hold on, let me take care of this guy. Yeah, so I guess, again, most people probably know this, but this throne room is actually on the roof
Look at this place.
of Dunwall Tower. It's the room that was the Lord Regent's kind of office,
Senseless
what he called his
slaughter.
safe room in the first game. And so all of this was bookshelves, and then there was a tall boy. And then this area is what went up
They're going to pay for this. I need to
into
get away from here.
into his little office with the imager that went down to the front room.
Animals. No respect.
So odd place to put a throne room on the top of the roof.
Killed for their loyalty to me. Damn the Duke of Serkonos. Damn Delilah. Father, I don't know how, but I'll make this right. I promise.
And one thing I wonder is, how did those clockwork soldiers get up here? Because they don't fit in the elevators, we know that, and later in the game you'll find out that the stairway has been blocked off, so that's not the only way up here other than the secret safe room is the elevator, and those clockworks do not fit on the elevator. So I'm wondering how they got up here. I don't know, it's one of those things that I always thought was kind of odd. I think I once tried throwing him in the fire. I don't think I was able to do it.
Anton Sokolov made this lock. Now you've got what you wanted, Ramsey. The Imperial Suite atop Dunwall Tower. Stay put until this is all set straight, Ramsey. Enjoy the rations and well water, sleeping next to a fortune. I'd better take these.
If you've ever had to live in a house with only well water, I can tell you it's not pleasant. All right, Whispers from the Void by Barnoli Milani, Volume 1. So this book was actually also in the first game, but I'll read it again here. Treatise on the physical existence of that foreign realm. It is a common story. A person has stopped breathing, pinned under carriage wheels or some other tragic happenstance, and is thought to be dead. But when the weight is removed, they make a quick recovery. But nonetheless, for a moment or two, this person was lost to us, lost to the world itself. And what did they experience while in this temporary death? Darkness? Nothingness? No, indeed not. They tell us, as so many before have, that they were in a particular place, and can describe it vividly. And who among us does not know the place? Have we not all seen it in our dreams? This place we share, in the farthest reaches of our minds, the realm where nothing makes sense, where one is at once both lost and at home. The void. Very dramatic. And then volume 2, right here. These little glimpses of the void in our dreams, or described by those awoken from comas, are not limited to a select few. In my interviews, I've gleaned that there is not a single citizen without such visions, at one time or another. This, then, must be a real place, not folklore or mass delusion. Perhaps it exists deep below the earth, or far above it. Perhaps it is right next to us, but hidden. Some trick of the light or wondrous curtain bars us from fully knowing it. And we all but wait for a natural philosopher to unlock the phenomenon, to show us how to see it at will. But when so revealed, it will not be a fearsome place any longer, not the distant and special realm described in the myth of the outsider. It will be strange, yes, even unsettling, but nonetheless it will be a new realm for us to explore and eventually conquer. What new treasures await us there? Are the lakes made of liquid diamond, the clouds of weightless silver gas, and what things we would learn? So, probably someone who would gladly become part of the cult of the outsider. Check out that video. Okay, let's see. Lots of lore in here. Letter from Wyman. Emily, I didn't want to wake you this morning, but you'll forgive me since we must have said goodbye 100 times yesterday night, and the only chance I get to see you with your hair all whichever way is while you're asleep. As soon as the sun rises, you'll put on your empress face. It makes me happy that I know your real face, the one that laughs at our silly rhymes. I didn't want to go back to Morley, but I'm needed there. It'll be 4 months before we see each other again. I'll miss you. And yes, I'll bring you some white leaf tobacco for your hookah. Lord Corvo, if you're reading this letter as per your royal protector functions, know that I am joking and perfectly aware that white leaf tobacco is forbidden in Bristol. Take care, my darling Emily. Don't go falling from a rooftop. I love you, Wyman. And no comment. All right. So this audiograph was also in the first game, in the secret room which we found on the third level of the tower, and which we will visit again at the end of the game.
Emily, my daughter, I know that one day you'll be grown up, and I wonder what you'll remember.
Roman numeral
these
clock.
years.
Not sure what that means.
Will you recall your time as a
for
child with
lore
fondness?
implications.
Or were there too many caretakers, formal dinners, and lessons about boring old history? Maybe the precious hours we spent together will shine brighter. Time captured now and then with your mother and with Corvo, who was always close to my heart. I hope the season of rats and plague will be nothing more than a passing shadow on your early memories. A crisis come and past, weathered by your mother and her advisors. You'll sit on the throne someday, and will do well, I hope. It's a tricky life, full of responsibility and peril. It was not your choice to be the daughter of an empress, but I believe you'll rise to the challenge. Stay good-hearted, Emily. Keep drawing and telling stories, and only share your power with those you truly trust.
If only I could talk to my mother one more time.
Okay. And a little book card by Samuel.
Old Samuel made this. I'm glad he didn't live to see me driven out of Dunwall Tower.
And of course, here are some of Emily's drawings from the first game, pinned to the locations where they are. So, Golden Cat at the Golden Cat, the Tower, and the Hound Pits. So this drawing is actually from the, I guess I don't know what you would call it, medium chaos, medium high chaos state of the game. So this tells us that canonically there's it wasn't a complete it wasn't a clean hands run, definitely. And Mrs. Pilson, of course, her doll. And let's see. And again, so we saw chamber pots, but also in this case, in the safe room, we have an actual flushing toilet. As well as
Can't dally.
as well as running tap water. Let's see, is that everything except for... Okay, so Corvo Attano, the Royal Protector in Our Times, Part 1. His parents were older at the time of his birth, and his father died in a lumber accident outside the city when Corvo was still young. Around that time, his only sibling, a firstborn sister, moved away to Morley, and the family subsequently lost all contact with her. Only 16, Corvo dazzled the people of Karnaca when he entered and won the annual Blade Verbena. The spectators from all over Sarkonos were thrilled to see someone so young and striking, from a working-class family, advance through duel after duel, eventually taking the prize. This unexpected outcome secured Corvo a junior officer ranking in the Grand Sarkonian Guard. As a soldier, he was involved in a number of conflicts against organized criminal groups, rogue city-states within Sarkonos, and pirate bands along the chain of islands radiating east from Sarkonos. Sent from his homeland at the age of 18 by the Duke of Sarkonos, then Theodanis Abel, father of Luca Abel, Corvo was assigned to serve the Emperor in Dunwall as a diplomatic gift. His Sarkonian heritage made him a bit of an outsider in Dunwall, but the capital city must have seemed exotic and full of old-world mystery. A few months after he moved to Dunwall, it is recorded that Corvo received word that his mother had passed away several weeks after his departure from Karnaca. And I think part 2 is right here. In an act of rebellion, young Jessamine Caldwin chose Corvo as her royal protector when Corvo was 19 and she was 12. He served her loyally as a bodyguard, courier, and some say spy, before and after she was crowned empress. Though it was scandalous gossip at the time, it is said they began a love affair around 1823, when Jessamine was 18 and Corvo was 25. And not a day before, I'm sure. The next chapter of Attano's life is like something out of a legend. During the time of the rat plague, when the Empress fell, Corvo was accused of regicide and sentenced for execution. He was thrown into Coleridge Prison and publicly reviled. He escaped, and as part of a small conspiracy dedicated to throwing down the tyrannical Lord Regent, Corvo struck back at the people who killed the Empress and who wronged him. As the Lord Regent fell, the Loyalist conspiracy turned on Corvo, poisoning him. Surviving through some inner resilience, he located the true assassin of the Empress and fought his way out of the flooded district. Corvo eventually cornered the last of the Loyalists on King Sparrow Island at the Burrows Lighthouse and rescued Emily Caldwin, heir to the throne. The romantic involvement between Corvo Attano and the Empress Jessamine Caldwin was a terribly kept court secret, and thus it is widely held that Emily Caldwin is their daughter. Following the interregnum, Corvo watched over Emily as she began to rule the Empire of the Isles. So just in case you didn't play the first game for some reason, it recounts everything. Okay. Oh, by the way, so here's some minuscule lore. If you manage to get up here, it's not easy. You have to... Yeah, it's not easy. It might take you a few tries. I'm not going to do it now, but if you do, you can get up there and you can actually peek around... just barely peek around that painting there, and you can see there's actually a painting on the other side, and it's The Lost Ship Returns, a painting you encounter throughout the game. But yeah, just in case you wanted to know that for some reason. Again, here's some more of her drawings. Again, this one is kind of the medium high chaos.
The reserves won't help against Delilah. Even if I had a way to carry it all out of here. This could be handy.
And this statue, I'm pretty sure, is just a smaller model of the one that stands outside the Rudshore Chamber of Commerce in the flooded district. I think my health is full. I don't think I need to... Bone charms. So again, this was in the first game as well, multiple places, but I'll read it again once more. Excerpt from a book on sailing traditions and scrimshaw. Bone charms, a sailor's blessing, they say. The carving itself is a practice from long back, passed from salty dogs to young greenhorns still finding their sea legs. In old times, sailors cut into the tusks of ice seals and into the arm-long fangs of the bears that roamed the islets north of Tibia. Once the whaling trade began, the practitioners began engraving the bones of those great beasts, rendering charms that sing in the night and grant some small boon, increasing a lover's vigor or providing a defense against pregnancy. All right, same newspaper. Get our weapons here.
I have a feeling I'll need these.
I kind of want a real-world version of these pistols. I don't think they make them, though. It's hard to find an actual custom gunsmith. So some people have mentioned these things here. So these are actually dental phantom heads. These are practice heads with practice teeth for dental students to practice on. And you can find an antique one on eBay. They're very expensive. Modern ones obviously are much more realistic, but that's what those are for. They're for practicing dentistry. They look creepy, so the developers just put them all throughout the game for some reason. But that's what those are. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay, let's go. All right, Delilah and Luca Bell have taken over the tower. Dunwall is no longer a safe place for you. Escape the city by meeting with the boat captain down at the docks.
Until I understand this, I have to go into hiding. I should make my way to the docks.
Old history textbook, Chapter 12, The Whaling Trade. In 1631, Emperor Finlay Morgengard commissioned the first fleet of vessels made expressly for the hunting and processing of whales. They were powered by sails alone, and so were at the mercy of the winds. Although these whaling ships were small by current standards, Morgengard's fleet established the robust whaling trade we still enjoy today. Modern whaling vessels are much larger and use steam power to traverse the seas in search of whales. Did you know that every part of the beast is used? In addition to canned meat and whale oil, there is also a flourishing whalebone trade. Baleen is used in roofing, whale skins are processed into crude cloth. Bladders are made into wine flasks. Even the intestines are carefully harvested for their precious ambergris, used in many medicines and perfumes. A handwritten note at the end of the chapter. Emily, half of Morgengard's whalers fell to the rough coast east of Morley. You can still see the remains of ships poking out of the water should you ever visit Erin. Also, there's no mention here that it was Sokolov himself who designed the first steam-powered whaling ships. He'll tell you all about it if you ask, and he's sober.
What would my old governess say? Callista would probably tell me to sit up straight and to marry Wyman. She'd ask me when the War of the Four Crowns ended. 1625.
And then it was the next year, in 1626, that King Finlay Morgengard VI became Emperor Finlay Morgengard I and created the Empire of the Isles. Okay, so here's the Pendleton painting from the first game, Custis Morgan and the Postulate Child. It's funny, we could steal it for coin then, and somehow we got it back and we can steal it for coin now. I thought it was worth 300 last time. It's only worth 200 now. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Probably there was some nice loot here, but someone's already gotten to it. The Tower of Dunwall. Excerpt on a historical examination of Dunwall Tower. For over a century, Dunwall Tower has been the capital of the Isle of Bristol and the seat of power across all the isles of the Empire. Rulers have come and gone, each adding something to the structure. Gardens, observatories, new walls, pools, and specialized interior chambers to suit their needs and whims. Dunwall Tower has withstood numerous wars, several large-scale fires, and the collapse and rebuilding of the northern wing. With Tibia and Serkonos joining the Empire first, it was Morley that resisted longest. You can say that again. Some of the conflicts that arise also necessitate the further fortification of the tower. Repeated assassination attempts near the end of the conflict with Morley, including one that succeeded, resulted in the creation of the Royal Protector position, with each ruler choosing his or her own Royal Protector after careful consideration. Empress Jessamine Caldwin. Excerpt from a book on the late Empress. Perhaps in retrospect other historians will see how easy it was for us to fall into the traps set by the schemers who managed the assassination of Empress Jessamine Caldwin. By allowing them to write history, it was for years thought that her trusted protector, Corvo Attano, was also her murderer, a concept we now know to be utterly false. Yet even after the tricksters themselves were put down, banished, or imprisoned, it remained common knowledge that the royal protector was also Jessamine's murderer. How nicely they arranged history for us, and how readily we devoured their stories, hungry for each perfectly cooked morsel. But it is well past time for us to set aside this plate of lies. The schemers were not to be trusted with the Empire or with Jessamine's life, and they are certainly not to be trusted with the writing down of accurate histories. So this is kind of, I think, a bit of a reference to a book we find in the first game where it's written down that Corvo is the murderer. So it was written sometime in that 6 to 8 month period before the truth was known, and this is kind of an attempt to, I don't know, rewrite history or de-write history. All right, so here's something I want to point out. Let's see. Now that I have my spyglass, we can zoom in here. So there are actually multiple different types of coins you can find. So these coins, you see 2 of them have the portrait of Jessamine, and one of them has the portrait of Emily. And later on we'll find there are coins that even have pictures of the Lord Regent, so they're left over from his time, and a couple of coins with Duke Luca Bell's portrait as well. So lots of different types of coins that you can find, regardless of their value. Just a nice little detail, I guess. Again, chamber pot. Okay.
I've got to get out of Dunwall. I've got to get away. I should talk to the captain of that ship.
I've tried going down this way multiple times. You can't do it. You just die no matter what you do. Okay. That was all the easy part. Now comes the hard part.
Somehow Delilah turned my father to stone. I will find a way to undo it.
Let's do it. Do a hard save there. Okay. So a couple of things we can... Okay, so this is one way we can go. And of course, the quick and easy way of getting through this if you don't want to...
Attention, Dunwall citizens.
Listen up, I have bad news.
The city's crawling with the Duke's men.
And Emily Caldwin has apparently fled the tower. We've got to find her. That's it. Got your orders.
Road is blocked by order of the City Watch.
Okay. And that's it. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. No, just kidding. But that is, of course, one way you can go. Okay. Also, there is one extra thing I want to go back over here and look at before I come back.
Attention, Dunwall
Listen
citizens.
up, I have bad news. Ramsey's missing.
You go into this house. There is a book up here. The Knife of Dunwall, excerpt from a penny novel, Chapter 3. Dowd stared at the blade. The plan had gone perfectly, even better than he could have hoped. In fact, the whole thing had been too easy. But now that was over. He felt hollow, and there was nothing in the world that could fill him again. He knew it with a certainty that scared him. Billy called from the next room. "Boss? Leave me." He nudged the door closed before she could say anything else. He trusted her more than any of them, but he didn't feel like talking. Cleaning the blood from the blade, he studied the marks it made on the cloth. Royal blood, but it looked the same as any he'd seen before. Weren't the High and Mighty supposed to be filled with something different, something better? Dowd was tired. No amount of blood could change the way he felt. He didn't drink as a general rule, and sex had never interested him. He felt a kind of exhaustion that couldn't be soothed away. A smile crept across his mouth. The Knife of Dunwall, exhausted. And yet something else. What was it he was feeling exactly? He looked into Jessamine Caldwell's eyes at the moment her life slipped away, and in that moment a thought occurred to him. He'd made a mistake. He'd been misled. That kind of thinking was useless. She was just as dead, whether he regretted it or not. But he'd seen his face, his true face reflected in her eyes, seen himself for what he really was, not a renowned assassin, not some great shaper of history, just another playing piece in an unknowable game.
Stinks around here.
Um,
Not my job to clean it up.
Okay, you actually can't get back up there, so I'm gonna just quick load rather than try and get back. So this is one of the hard points of the game. If you're going for stealth, it's just you got to be patient. Unfortunately, it's not easy.
Traitorous dog.
Because all the guards are just kind of gathered up together at once.
The city is crawling with the Duke's men.
Listen up, I have bad news. Ramsey's missing. Corporal Moore checked the royal quarters, and Emily Caldwell has apparently fled the tower. We've got to find her. That's it, you've got your orders. Spread out and find the fugitive. We're in this with the Duke of Serkonos, sink or swim. There's no way to turn back now.
Serkonos. It's amazing. The developers will spend so much time and effort and money putting into games, and they won't bother to give the voice actors a pronunciation guide. It's like, really? All right. Let's see. Stay ready. I want you in place just after the Duke and our new Empress make their appearance. Things will happen fast. Do your part, and there's a share of the spoils for you and the others. Turn on me now, and I'll ask the Duke to send his assassin after your dear old parents. Trust me, this so-called crowned killer is the last dinner guest you want in your home. Mortimer Ramsey. Okay, so to take out these guards, really the best way is to try and, I think, lure them one at a time. Note there's one.
The former Empress, Emily Caldwell, has been accused of high crimes against the state. Anyone caught harboring her is equally guilty of treason. What does he think? I'm stupid? I know all my letters, and then some. Should have listened to Mom and become a hairdresser.
If you want to fast forward past this, I understand. It's not the most interesting. There's one. I'm not too proud for save scumming. Oh! Now see if we can get him to come over here by himself. There.
Shit! I don't like that. Better have a look. wonder who that was.
You know, I hate dark vision because I hate how it makes the game look, but
It looked like, I don't know.
this is one situation I would happily use it. Just to get... Hey!
Think you're scaring me?
Alright, that went much better than I expected. I think there's another guy in here. In the guard, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that went much better than I expected. Alright, Captain Ramsey's orders. All City Watch personnel assigned to posts in the immediate vicinity around Dunwall Tower. On the anniversary of tomorrow, we'll be receiving guests from across the Empire. Most are detailed in your itineraries, but there is unlisted contingent from Karnaca. It's last minute, but important. None other than the Duke of Serkonos will be traveling with an entourage that includes VIP guests and some rather exotic equipment aimed at impressing our Empress. Let them pass and don't bother harassing them with the usual inspection nonsense, on my orders, and if you spoil the surprise, I'll have your head. Disseminate this note to all squads. Captain Wilbur Ramsey, First Officer, Night Watch. Grenade. Tiger Dial Storage Company. They make the whale oil containers that we see all over the place. Yep, I think that's it.
Kiela, sorry you missed us. I'll be taking the children away from Dunwall earlier than expected. A few weeks before the upcoming anniversary of Empress Jessamine's death. Things are about to get bad, and I'm not just talking about the Crown Killer. Besides, there's profit to be made bringing new silver miners down south. So arrangements must be made. Ta for now.
So somebody knew something was going to go down. So wasn't a complete utter secret. Bastilian peach. So you'll see bits of food around the game that kind of show what the main agricultural exports are from different parts of the Isles. So a lot of fruit comes from Serkonos. So peaches from Bastilian. Umberwood. Umberwood is another export from Serkonos. So you see a lot of Umberwood statues throughout the game. Apples from Morley, and grapes from, I guess, anywhere in Serkonos. Wanted. Ghastly murders. Several prominent citizens killed in the most gruesome way. Hooded suspect still at large. Authorities describe the murders as unusually vicious. A strange hooded figure has been spotted at each crime scene. The public is urged to be watchful of any and all suspicious behaviors. Report to nearest guard post if in doubt. Reward of 15,000 coins. Offered for information leading to capture or death of the deranged villain. Remember, even the stranger in the pub could be our suspect. And then Dr. Galvani's house. I believe there's there's a guard in here. Okay. And another painting from before, Lady Boyle. And behind it, our ubiquitous safe combination. So normally it would be 287, Galvani's special code, but in this case, because it's the first safe we encounter in the game, it is the traditional 451 combination used by a lot of people who worked at Looking Glass Studios way back in the day. And we can rob Dr. Galvani a second time. Dr. Galvani's journal. Second day, month of Earth, 1852. I've lived in Dunwall most of my life, surviving even the dreaded rat plague 15 years ago. I remember people fighting and killing each other for a half-empty elixir flask. I dealt with housebreakers repeatedly back then, and ultimately decided to sell my house at Clavering in favor of a more secure location. Surely I won't be disturbed anymore, living so close to Dunwall Tower itself. On some days, I've even seen the Empress riding by in a carriage. Once already, I thought I spied the Royal Protector on a nearby rooftop, watching a street altercation below. So I feel safer now. I have less space here, but should be able to conduct my experiments without fearing the loss of any expensive lab equipment or the funding my work so dearly depends upon. Well, not so much. Sorry. Fishhead. Let's see, I don't think there's anything else. Okay. Tivian pear. Yeah, so this is the same painting that is faced the other way up in the safe room. So this is not Dr. Galvani, we know, because he still has an account at Dolores Michaels' bank in Death of the Outsider. Okay, so here's another hard point. I don't know how much time I want to spend trying to sneak past these guys, or just maybe if I try to engage, they all swarm me, and then I have to kill them all, and then I get a high chaos. Here, I can get this guy to come and fight me.
First of her name. Further, the former Empress, Emily Caldwin, is now wanted for treason. Any of you found harboring Emily Caldwin will be fined and arrested. People of Dunwall, stay in your homes. You're advised to stay indoors during this time of unrest.
This is that house with the broken floors from that we came in upstairs.
Soda.
Huh? Oh, isn't it laundry day yet? Oh, it's gotta be soon. I can't stand my own stench.
Kinda dry. You really go for a whiskey or something. Maybe one of them 2-penny drinks.
Again, if you want to skip past this, that's fine.
Just minding my own business, trying to get
No,
by.
you and me both, buddy. Alright, so this is the back of the Dunwall Courier.
Citizens of Dunwall, listen up.
I'm hungry.
Over there! On the stairs!
I don't think there's anyone else in here at the ground level. Statue. Dreams of the Void. I wonder if that's supposed to be a Cienfuegos painting that we haven't, just isn't named yet. I don't know. All right, so in this interaction coming up, sometimes the reporter glitches out and he panics, but he doesn't come out of his panic state. So sometimes it doesn't always work, basically. So we'll see what happens here.
Special edition. Empress Delilah Caldwin, rightful heir to the throne, has taken power in Dunwall. The usurper,
Huh? What? Help me! Someone! Anyone!
You're not fit for the watch uniform.
Okay. Okay, good.
That man, part of the Duke's coup, I'm sure of it now. And I saw him talking to Captain Ramsey of the City Watch.
You weren't the only one fooled. But I never ordered those killings.
I know that. It was irresponsible of me to print the name Crown Killer. I allowed myself to be coerced. Forgive me.
You're forgiven. I'm not sure what happens next, but protect yourself. And when the time is right, tell people the truth.
You can count on it. I won't ask you what your plans are, but for the sake of Dunwall and for the Empire itself, I hope you succeed. The Dunwall Courier will not be...
Watch yourself.
I'm so sorry for my involvement in all this. I was misled. They claimed they had evidence, and then they bullied me. I'm going into hiding for a few days. You should do the same. This newspaper has a reputation to uphold after I rebuild it. As soon as it's safe, I'm going to start a series of pamphlets.
Right. Woe's plague beleaguered Dunwall. Dunwall's troubles have multiplied of late, calling into question the very efficacy and intentions of our Empress. As evidence that Emily Caldwin has forsaken us, we need look no further than Rudshore Financial, more commonly called the Flooded District. Though recently drained, we dare not celebrate, as the area is still riddled with maintenance problems and remaining from its time underwater. With so many unable to find work, would this not be the perfect moment to unveil a grand scheme to restore this once posh area? Alas, no further considerations have been proposed, nor has the Empress submitted solutions for the current whale oil shortage, even as we endure rationing and discomfort. The picture of incompetent leadership is completed when you add to this all the periodic accidental citizen deaths at the hands of the Dunwall City Watch, all while Captain Mortimer Ramsey, appointed by our Empress, maintains the perfect innocence of those men and women in uniform who are supposed to protect us. So here we see the first indication of the shortage of whale oil. Basically, overhunting of whales has decreased their population and has led to kind of a shortage in rationing, possibly indicating that the time of...
I told her once, I told her 1,000 times. It ain't my job to check on the grinder.
That's right.
Sometimes I think she's deaf on
I'm sure she
purpose.
is. Yeah, the ascendancy of whale oil use is coming to an end, possibly. So here you see a map showing the various locations of the Crown Killer murders. Let's see, Clock Tower, Draper's Ward, somewhere down in the city. Then at the here in the Tower District. So he's kind of keeping track of the location of all the killings. I think those are the only two newspapers we can read.
I need new boots. Just don't fit right.
And note from Chief Editor. Kent, don't take it personally, but I'm not publishing your story about mechanical soldiers down in Karnaca. I'm not questioning your sources or your writing, but some moonstruck natural philosopher making marionettes in his basement isn't really news. I've done some research on this Kirin Jindosh you mentioned. He was driven out of the Academy of Natural Philosophy years ago, so he's hardly a credible threat. Until one of his inventions actually kills someone, he's not worthy of our ink. If it bleeds, it leads. You should focus on the Crown Killer case instead. If the Imperial family is really ordering those murders, I want to be the ones to expose it. Simon. Well, yeah, about that. Okay, I think that's everything in the newspaper office. Some loot.
Just once I'd like to see her buy the drink. Just one time. Is that too much to ask?
Okay. And now, gotta find some way to get across the street to Boyle Industries. Without getting killed by these guards.
Someone there?
Come on.
I am tired of all this hullabaloo. I pay good money to make sure things
Come
like
on, dude.
this don't happen.
Let's have a look.
That's Emily Caldwell.
No, no, no!
Look around.
I don't want to die!
I just
What's
need
going on
You're
here?
done.
A body?
So
Yes?
if you can get them,
She's wounded. Let's finish it. No.
if you can get them to kill the guy that you're holding, I don't
End of the road for you.
I don't think it counts as your own. Let's take a look at our stats here. Yeah, so just one. So I shot one of them, but the other two guys were killed by their own guys. So I don't think it counts as mine. Which is good. Oh, shut up. Because now we can walk around without too much interference.
I don't feel safe. What is wrong with this city?
All right, Tower District. I know most people probably know this, but if you look at a map, you can always look at it again in your inventory. You don't have to, keep coming back to it. Sorry. Yeah, so you can always refer to it whether you're next to it or not.
You look like you can take care of yourself.
So it's a coup. The Caldwins have finally fallen. Never thought I'd see the day.
It seems so. And even the legendary Corvo Atano couldn't stop.
Shh, we shouldn't be talking about this.
Until later, then. Somebody's seen something. Now we're all on edge. My heart can't take much more of this. This place has changed a lot over the years, and not for the better.
I can't do anything for you. You'd better run.
Hey! Huh? What?
wants to keep watch over a place where someone was just gutted, even if it was an ass like Ichabod Boyle.
Alright, so this is Boyle Industries. Boyle family not only is rich in land, but in business, so they have a lot of...
Maybe the Crown Killer will come back.
Where'd you go?
Oh, come on. So they have their fingers in a lot of pies, basically. They got rich during the... Let's see, where are we? Oh, okay, nice. They got rich during the time of the plague by finding crystals on their land that was needed for the rat lights. So in addition to being rich from just kind of old money landed aristocracy, they also had a lot of business interests.
Getting so one can't even breathe no more. Something feels wrong.
Okay, here's
Don't
Ichabod
know
Boyle.
The Duke didn't hire the most refined assassin.
He's the head of Boyle Industries, as opposed to the, not necessarily the heir to all the land, but let's see. Ichabod Boyle case. Witness statement. Witness name Peter Atkins. Occupation matchbox maker. On the 16th day month of Earth, just before midnight, I was on my way home after a couple of ales at the pub. Stopping to pee next to the Boyle Company offices, I heard moaning and furniture creaking, so I thought maybe some people were having fun and I could have a peek. But when I got close to the windows, that's when Mr. Boyle started screaming like a slaughtered pig. He was all tied up. There was someone wearing a hooded cloak, and I swear I think it was eating up Mr. Boyle's guts. That has to be the Crown Killer, I told myself, so I ran as fast as I could to the nearest watch post to get help. And your soldiers could have made it to Boyle in time if they hadn't taken half an hour to find me for throwing up. Anyone could have done the same after what I had been through. You guys should have some respect. Okay, and another Umberwood statue. This is a hound statue. And let's see. Not sure if there's any other loot in here. I don't think so. But in this case, here's some coins. And once again, we can see coins with the Empress, Jessamine, and here's one with Duke Luca. And here's the other side. And I think one of these... Well, I can't tell. But eventually I find one with the region on it. Can't tell if that's one or not. It's too dark. Okay. And I don't think there's... whole lot of loot back here. I know there's nothing in these. I already looked. I've looked multiple times. Bone Charms, already read that. Pretty sure that one's empty. Yeah. Okay, and I think that's everything in the Boyle Company office. So I think the next thing is the pub, Black Pony Pub.
My family and I moved here 3 years ago. Biggest mistake we ever made.
Okay, can you get out of my way, please?
Road is blocked by order of the City Watch.
Locked? What am I supposed to do now?
Not my concern, citizen. I'd advise you to return to your home.
If I can't get through, that's it for my shop. The entire month will be ruined.
Trust me, you don't want to be out on the streets right now. Move along.
I am tired of all this.
So hungry. Might be time to spring for fish cake.
Sure, he knows how to talk. A body? Here?
Okay, and I think this just goes up here. There's nothing up here. There might be a guard up here. I can't remember. Nope. Just another map.
First the shortage of whale oil, then the murders. Now what's ever going on tonight?
I'll get the cigars tomorrow. Want to buy one?
You bet.
Some kind of trouble in this part of town? Honestly, why can't they keep all that riffraff? Elaine heard fighting between some of the guards earlier. This is bad. Maybe I should hire my own bodyguard. I don't feel safe anymore.
Okay, and of course the first appearance of the gin sling cocktail you can find throughout the throughout the game.
And all the fees. I'd pay bribes too if it meant the roads weren't blocked off.
I think the instructions are found at the Royal Conservatory, and of course I made my own little video making this cocktail a couple different ways, so check that out. God, these guys just never shut up.
You're dirty, like a vagabond or a tradesman, but your clothing is nicely tailored.
Yes, quite.
Every day things are a little bit worse here, even for the upper class.
Oops. That was not intentional. I just wanted to stand up. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Oh well, it shouldn't change things too much. Yeah, so here's a Regent coin. You see, it's got his picture on it. So it's kind of left over from that period.
What? Somebody's not feeling well.
Cards used to play Nancy. I should probably not stick around here after that. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. You can rob the cash register too.
Some kind of trouble in this part of town? Honestly, why can't they keep all that riffraff in a separate place?
Alright, escape out the back door.
That's all about the change. The city
The Hatter gang. Damn them.
crown killer lunatic and all. Whatever the royals are fighting about, can't make it easier for them. That's what I'm saying. We need a network of shops selling contraband, just like they've got down in Serconis. People are getting rich in Colero and Karnaca, even after paying the Grand Guard to look the other way.
So we set up some black market shops, pass along whatever we score, and we run security for the shopkeepers.
Right, and we take a cut on the sales. I'm telling you, the wind is blowing in our favor for once.
Wonder who that was. Let's show this one some of the new Dunwall Hospital.
So of course we've been ran across the Hatter gang back in Brigmore Witches. By this time they have splintered off. Well, there's still some remnants of the Hatters, but then there's the Roaring Boys gang sort of splintered off at some point in between. So they show up in the a little bit in the comics. All right.
That's Emily Caldwin! Damn you! You aren't going anywhere!
Well, for all right, I think I've knocked out enough guys that I don't have to worry about being too gentle with them anymore. So.
That's Emily Caldwin! Hey,
And now I got 3 after me.
I'll get
Hey.
to her!
She's wounded. Let's finish her.
You ready?
Oh my God! Now they're all after me.
Clever, huh? Take this! Take it! You won't go far! You're surrounded! You aren't going
Actually, that kind of works out for me because the only piece of lore left I need to see is this. Order to clear the docks. Corporal Blivens, I won't tolerate any more questions. Send all boats away from the docks. Tell them it's for the anniversary of the death of our beloved Empress Jessamine. Threaten to seize their vessels. I don't care. Just clear the docks. And according to the morning patrol, there was a woman here earlier who refused to leave. She captains the Terrible Whale, or the Dreadful Whale, or some other rubbish. She was asking for an audience with the Royal Protector. If you see her, I want her arrested immediately. You have your orders, Blevins, and trust me, you don't want to make trouble right now. Captain Mortimer Ramsey, First Officer, Night Watch. And there is no more lore in this area, so I am going to make a hasty retreat.
what to do. Something's going on at Dunwall Tower all across this cursed city. Where are you, Corvo Attano? Is there any chance I... Hey! Over here!
Lady Emily, you won't get far with that face. Stamped on half the coins in the city.
There's a coup underway, and I'm being blamed for the Crown Killer murders. I don't care what my face looks like.
My name's Megan Foster. I work with an old ally of yours, Anton Sokolov. We learned something scary down in the south, and I came to warn you.
I know, Anton, but Corvo's gone. The Duke of Serkonos is here with a woman named Delilah. They massacred everyone in the throne room. Then she did something I can't explain. There was nothing to do but run.
Sometimes that's all you can do. This is my ship, the Dreadful Whale. We can head out as soon as you're ready.
I need to get to Karnaca where the Crown Killer murders started. Delilah must have been down there for a while, and I've got to figure out what's going on.
You're Corvo's daughter. I'll give you that. Should we go?
Soon, but not just yet.
We should get out of here while we can, during the confusion.
Okay, so this area over here, it's an interesting little secluded area. It's got some loot. There's no lore over there though, so I'm not going to go back with all those guards after me. Just want to really quickly come over here and check out some old locations. So there's Dunwall Tower there, way in the distance. And of course, Clock Tower. And over here, you can actually still see the Hound Pits. So right there, it's the same model of it's a tower, but it's that same model they use with like the exploded corners. You can kind of see in between the walls. I'm not sure why they still use that, but yeah, it's just still the same location. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get out of here.
You ready yet?
Let's set out for Karnaca.
Okay, 4 hostiles, not too bad. Mostly non-lethal assault. Let's see, 2 paintings. Not too bad with the coins. And then, see, freedom of the press. Just means I didn't know that was a special action. Take the coin, rob a Galvani, lock up Ramsey. All right, and that's all the. That's all of it. Yeah, so that's it for the first mission. I don't know how. These aren't going to be very fast. I got to go through each mission and make sure I find everything, and then, do it again on video just to make sure I get everything. So these aren't going to be very fast. So don't expect too much. But I have at last started it, so a few people have asked me to do this. So there it is. All right. So thanks for watching, and at some point we'll see you in the next one.